Hello, fellow hunters. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing great. We are back live in Hunt Sim 2. I'm checking quick the stream control. Everything looks fine. We are ready to go. So today we have we're doing this stream as a request from last week. One of my loyal channel supporters requested a basic beginner's guide for new players. Maybe people that want to start with a game and hopefully finish it before Hunt Sim 3 will be released. And we do our stream today about what's important at the start, what to avoid, and what's, in my opinion, the most important stuff you need to know and you need to do when you start with a game as a fresh player. Yeah, that's our topic today. The first thing I want to start with something to that you should avoid. Let's return to the main menu. Yes. The Ranger mode. The Rangers Live DLC is, in my opinion, something you should avoid as a new player. For one simple reason. It has basically, or it brings no improvement to your hunter mode profile. It's just a very basic and not very good story-based mode. You play, I don't remember, 12 or 13 scripted missions and you walk from one event to the next. And basically, most of the time, you're doing really stupid stuff. So, if you get this DLC really, really cheap, buy it and play it at some time, at some point when you have some time to spare. And yeah, and if you don't have any high expectations, you can play it, but I don't recommend it. Oh, we have some audience. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, welcome, welcome. I hope you're all doing great. So, yeah, that was, in my opinion, one of the most important things to avoid when you start the game. Basically, in my opinion, you only need the base game, and from the available DLCs, there is only one that's really worth it, and that's the Bear Hunter Pack DLC. But to that we come later, I think. So I need to remember what happens when you leave the tutorial. I guess you get dropped in the lodge. It was, I don't know, over 4 years ago right now. I think 4 or 5 years already. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. You get yeah, let's check quick the stream chat. Yeah, legendaries in Hunt Sim 3. Yeah, there is still no. I checked today the. Let's do that quick. I checked today the Hunt Sim 3 Steam page, and there was no new blog post or something. So unfortunately, no new infos about Hunt Sim 3. I hope there maybe were some news today, but unfortunately there is nothing. So, and from the other games, I guess there wasn't any new stuff either. So that topic is really quick closed for today. So no news, and we have a lot of time for our quick basic beginner's guide. Yeah, when you leave the tutorial, you get dropped into the lodge with your first dog. Let's activate him. So you start with this cute little guy. Basically in an empty lodge with some basic equipment. Let's go to the loadout. Let's do the weapon topic first, because that's basic, in my opinion, the most important. You get dropped in the lodge with some basic equipment. I'm not sure right now what weapon you get at the beginning. Maybe this one, the first one. I don't know. I remember I started with a small caliber something. Maybe it was this one. But that doesn't matter which one it actually is. The the basic loadout to finish the whole game contains 3 weapons. You need 3 types of weapons to beat the game, basically. You need a small caliber regular hunting rifle, whatever you like the most. Oh, I accidentally activated that. You need a small caliber one, and then you need a large caliber one. A small one, you can choose the 223. That's okay for small predators and like foxes and coyotes and stuff. That's always good. And you need a larger one. I would recommend at least a 308 for the larger animals. And you need a shotgun. The bows and crossbows are optional. That's only if you really prefer hunting with bow and arrow or with crossbow. You don't need them, so you can buy one of these at some point later. For the beginning, it's not important. But if you want to go for the waterfalls, ducks and geese, and for the rabbits, and turkey and pheasant, yeah, quite a lot of animals for the shotgun, you need one of these. So when you start, how to get credits, I will explain as the next topic. When you start, you can check the weapons in the laptop on the desk where you buy your stuff, and you can choose basically what you will buy when you get the credits. A recommendation for the shotguns, I would say avoid these break action 2-shot shotguns, and yeah, at the beginning you don't have one. Avoid these double barrel models. Choose one with a large capacity. I want to find the model I'm using most of the time. But that's in the end it doesn't matter. Let's say you pick this one. You have a clip size of 6 rounds, and it's a semi-automatic. So you have a fast reload speed, a quite large capacity, and I don't know if you can. Okay, it's a 12 gauge. Some other shotguns are available as 12 gauge or 20 gauge models. The game has no detailed ballistics, so it doesn't matter in the end. If you pick as an example this one, you have a solid shotgun with large capacity and quick reload speed. And for a beginner, that's, in my opinion, these are the most important features to look at when you pick weapons. Yeah, that's the shotgun. You need one of these for the birds and for the rabbits. And you need two rifles, one large caliber and one small caliber. You already have a small caliber rifle, if I remember correctly, when you leave the tutorial. And then you need to pick a larger caliber to complete your loadout. If you get some credits, if you ask me what are the best weapons, I'm a beginner, I want to buy 3 rifles, what should I pick? I would recommend, even if they are not the most classic hunting rifles on the planet, I would recommend these modern sporting rifles from Barrett. They are available as a small caliber one in 223. Oh, yes, and the Rec 10 is available in 308. With these two rifles, you can hunt every animal in the game except birds and rabbits. And you have a massive clip size. The Rec 10 has 20 rounds and the Rec 7 has 30 rounds. So there is no need for reloading, basically. Let's equip one of these. Let's take the black one in 223. And for the second slot, we equip the black Rec 10 in 308. What that means with the different calibers, I'll come to that next. So we have in our loadout, we have 2 rifles, the Rec 7 and the Rec 10. The next thing you need to think about is the scope for your weapons. That's easy. There is no adjustable zoom in the game, unfortunately. You have basically several crosshair versions in fixed zoom modes. So you have a 2.4 zoom and different crosshairs. You have a 4.2 zoom with basically the identical crosshairs. And in the end, the maximum zoom in the game is 6. So, in my opinion, you need the 2 Barrett rifles and 2 of these maximum zoom scopes or crosshairs, whatever you call it. So we pick this, and for the second we pick, yeah, it's already selected. And with that and a shotgun of your choice, let's say if I had to recommend something, I would recommend, where it was, I would recommend this Winchester SX4 with clip size 6. If you buy these 3 weapons and these 2 maximum zoom scopes, you are done with the weapons to basically beat the whole game. You don't need anything more. So you can save your credits for for licenses and equipment and other stuff. And when we are in the loadout section already, let's continue here before we come to the licenses. You have a bag with item slots you can carry with you. That's your backpack. This backpack has these 6 slots and 1 slot for the second weapon, if I remember correctly. It was a long time ago. And in these 6 item slots, you can equip different stuff. Some of that is useful, you need that, and some of that stuff is completely useless. You can ignore it. It only gets important when you want every achievement in the game, because there is one achievement or trophy where you have to buy every available item in the game. If you want to go that far, at some point, it will not take long. You will have so many credits. That's not a problem. But for the beginning, you can ignore that. Buy only the stuff you need. The first item category are binoculars. So that's basically self-explaining. My yeah, the only useful recommendation I would say is this 12 by 50 with rangefinder. So if you buy this, you don't need any of the others. I bought them only to unlock the achievement. That was the only reason. So I would recommend this one. For the next item, I guess, yeah, I have a caller. For the callers, it depends a bit on what you want to hunt the most. I would definitely recommend a predator caller for calling in bears. We come to that later. That is in combination with the Bear Hunter Pack DLC I mentioned before. So I would recommend this. It's important. You have what we have. The red deer caller. I used this once. I don't think you need that because red deer also respond to the regular deer caller. I was never in a situation where I actually needed this. So, in my opinion, it's useless. I don't know why it's in the game, but okay. These callers are for ducks. For ducks and geese, I think. Yeah, there are 2 for geese and 2 for ducks. There are 2 different ones. What they do, you can read in the description. You have one that encourages geese to land on water. So if you have birds in the air, you can force them or attract them to land on the water near you. So they land anyways. So I never used it, I think. The other one is it encourages geese to fly near you and scout out the area. No, I never used that. And you have the same set for ducks. So there are so many ducks and geese in the game. You only need to camp at a pond and basically wait for them. There are no legendaries as far as we know. So for the achievement to hunt every animal, you need one of them and you're done. At some point you can buy these callers, but I never used them. The pheasant caller, I used this thing during my grind for the legendary pheasant. It was more or less useful. You can buy it later. I wouldn't say it's important for the beginning. Same for the boar caller. You can buy it at some point when you're grinding for legendary boar, but especially the boars, I almost hunted all of my boars as a by accident. I was looking for something else, and then I found a good sized boar and took him on the way. Never used this caller, I think. The moose caller, this is important. Same as the predator caller, you need this. Not at the very beginning, but basically in step 2 you will need this. So keep in mind to buy the moose caller. And elk and deer caller, I always have them with me. They are handy. Because deer caller, every deer species in the game responds to this. So you have one caller for, we have white-tailed deer, black-tailed deer, fallow deer, red deer, roe deer. I think that's it. So you have one caller for 5 animal species, and that's worth it. They come straight at your position, and it's very easy to back them. So this one I would recommend for the beginning. And the elk caller can be useful if you want to go for elk in Pony Meadows, for example. So my basic loadout looks, you can see it down here in the screen. I have my binoculars, my predator caller, my moose caller, deer caller, elk caller, and that's another more or less important thing, the scent killer. You can mask your scent to avoid spooking animals when the wind direction is not in your favor. I use this rarely, but I always have it with me for the simple reason that if I get in a situation where I want to really avoid spooking the animal, let's say I'm very close to a legendary one by accident and it might be an upgrade for my lodge, I'm using Scent Killer just to be safe. It works quite well. It has a timer. When you apply it, you have a couple minutes of the effect. So, and you can use it 15 times, then you need to buy a new one. When it comes to the lures that are available, I played around with them. You can spray them on the ground at the location of your choice and go into a hunting tower, for example, and it attracts the animals to this location. It works. You can do that if you like static hunting from a stand. I prefer the more active hunting style and sneaking around in the forest, so I don't use them that much. That was the scent killer. That were the callers. Oh yeah, we have we have wind powder. I remember I used this once, and that was in the you saw that in the video where I shot the legendary European rabbit in Cheshire marshlands. With this wind powder, you have no you use that basically to check the wind direction, because you have no UI interface display feature, something that shows you the wind direction. If you want to know if the wind is in your favor or not, you need to use wind powder. In most cases, or always, I take the risk, and if I get in a situation where I want to avoid spooking animals, I prefer use scent caller and ignoring the wind direction completely. It's not a big deal. So yeah, these are the available item categories. So binoculars, wind powder, callers, scent killer, and lures. Now you have a rough estimation of what items you need and what you don't need. Next, what we do next? Clothing. Let's do clothing and then we come to the licenses because this is really quick. There is a lot of clothing in the game. So many hats and caps and stuff, and you can choose by design what you like the most. Not a big deal, with one exception. This one. This hood is the only, let's say, hat or headwear item that has low visibility. So you have more camouflage when you're wearing this, and that reduces spooking animals. So I always use this thing, but I'm not sure where I got it. If it is in the included in the basic game, or if it is part of the Bear Hunter DLC, because this DLC also includes items. I'm not sure, but like I said, that's the only DLC I highly recommend if you want to play this game. And if you get a package with base game and Bear Hunter DLC, I guess you will have that, I think. And in general, that's that's it about clothing. You have one stat for weather. That's completely, you can ignore that. I never noticed any difference in weather conditions and behavior of my character in combination with clothing. I think that's just an empty or a dead stat that's completely useless. And visibility, that is useful, and that applies basically to every piece of clothing. If you have all these have visibility low. Let's check if there are other ones. No. I think I never checked all that stuff here. I'm always wearing the same stuff. So for the shirts, they are all on the highest camouflage level. The gloves, it looks it looks the same. I never noticed that. So I don't know, in almost 5 years, I'm learning something new about the game. So yeah, everything visibility low for the pants. The same. Yeah, that's the same for everything. So the shoes have no stat at all. So the basic conclusion after seeing that, it is completely irrelevant what clothing you pick for your character, because it all has the same visibility stats. You can ignore weather, I guess. I never noticed any effect of that. And you can pick what you like the most visually. The only exception is for the headwear, where I recommend, so this regular cap has visibility medium, and this has visibility low like all the other clothing items. So if you choose this, you have the best camouflage, I guess. Yeah, and that's basically all about clothing. Pick what you like the most. And it has not that huge effect in the end. So now you know what to buy, what not to buy. I guess that's more important. And now I show you where to buy all that stuff. You start in the lodge, and on this desk there is this very modern looking laptop. If you use that, you have several categories. You can buy weapons, optics, items, clothing, and companions. Let's start with companions. After finishing the tutorial, you start with your beagle. That's the starting dog you get for free. And there are other dogs that you need to buy to use them and to train them. So, but that's not, at the beginning, that's not so important. The most important information with these companions is, if you're interested in hunting ducks and geese, waterfowls, you need to buy a Labrador very early in the game, because these dogs are the only ones that can pick prey out of the water. If you start with your beagle and you buy a shotgun and you start shooting ducks and geese over a pond, you have no way to get your prey out of the water. And that can be a problem at the beginning when you don't have that much credits. Because you get fined if you leave the map without claiming your prey. So in the end, you have no credits, no licenses, and that means you're stuck very early in the game. So if you want to go early in the game for ducks and geese, buy one of these dogs, the Labradors. They can fetch prey out of the water. That was the important part about that. Clothing we already saw. Yeah, here you can buy all that stuff. We talked enough about clothing. Same for the items. You have the same categories up here like you saw in the loadout room. Lures, scent killers, callers, wind powder, and binoculars. Here you can buy all that stuff. To be honest, I don't remember what all that stuff costs in terms of credits. It was so long ago. I have no idea. I guess it was not that expensive, so I think I had my basic starter equipment quite fast. Optics, that's interesting. These are the crosshairs I talked earlier, and the only ones you need are the maximum zoom crosshairs or scopes. You buy the complete scope, and every version has a different crosshair. Let's say it that way. The only ones that are interesting are the at the bottom of the category. So you pick the crosshair you like the most, buy 2 of them, so you have 2 maximum zoom scopes for your 2 main rifles. Where was the backpack? Was that in cloth? There was, okay, that's, I don't want to skip that. In the laptop, in the clothing category, you have the backpack option, and you can buy different backpacks. So the I think this one you get at the beginning of the game. You can carry 2 additional items. The next one is the same, 2 additional items. Yeah, okay. They are the same, they just look different, and that's useless, but okay, it is what it is. And you have the larger backpacks. I think I have this one equipped, I guess. Yeah, and you can carry 1 additional weapon. So a second hunting rifle, or a main hunting rifle and a shotgun, or instead of the shotgun, a bow or crossbow. So you can carry 2 weapons and 4 items in addition to the 2 of your basic backpack. So you have 6 items max and 2 weapons. Yeah, that's also important. So I would recommend, I don't know, pick what you like the most, what meets the visuals of the rest of your equipment. Anyway, uh, you need one of these large backpacks, so you can carry more stuff. So clothing, items, optics, weapons. It looks the same as in the loadout screen, so you can pick the weapons of your choice. Like I said earlier, I would recommend, so if you start with this starter rifle in 223 caliber, you can use that to make your first credits. How to do that, I will show soon. You can start with that to make credits to buy all that stuff I mentioned, quite fast, so it will not take that long. So I would recommend 2 of the Barrett rifles, 1 of the shotguns, and 2 scopes, and you're fine. Yeah, and you will start with 1 of these beginner rifles, so that's very simple in the end. Now we get to the more complicated part of the game. You need licenses to claim your prey. So for every animal you want to claim, you need to have a license. We have 3 regions in the game: Colorado, Texas, and Europe. And you have licenses for all animals that inhabit each region. In the beginning, to be honest, I'm not sure if you need to unlock Texas and Europe to hunt there. It may necessary to buy a license for the regions itself. I don't remember anymore. So if you are at the beginning of the game and know that, please leave me a comment under the stream. I don't remember how that is when you start. Yeah, and let's focus on Colorado. Colorado has 2 maps in the game: Pawnee Meadows and Roosevelt Forest. And here you can buy all the licenses for all the animals that can be found in these regions. If you buy one of these, let's say the Bobcat license, I don't know how it is for the Bobcat. You can shoot 3, I guess. So the amount of animals that can be claimed with the license, that is different for all the animals. For rabbits and hares, I know it's 10. And for moose, I know it's 1. For cougar, I also know it's 1. And for elk, I know it's 3. So for every species it is a bit different. It's quite difficult to talk so much today. Mm. And by the way, I really hope the audio quality is fine today. I made no tests earlier, and I just hope it's okay for today. So when you look at these licenses, that stuff comes into play. What I said earlier with the calibers. If you want to hunt bobcat, the only legal calibers or ways to hunt them is caliber 223, 243, bow and arrow, and bolts and crossbow. Everything larger than that, or every different weapon from this mentioned in the caliber section, um, will lead to a fine for your character, and you cannot claim the animal. That's the reason why you need one small caliber rifle and one large caliber rifle. Let's compare that with what is larger. Yeah, let's say white-tailed deer. They are not in Pawnee Meadows, but let's say white-tailed deer. It doesn't matter. As you can see in the caliber section of the screen, you have you have way more options to hunt these animals. You can use a 243 up to a 338 caliber, and all that are the larger ones. And you can use, of course, crossbow or bow. The exception for deer is you can also use a 243 caliber. If we get to the elk that are slightly larger, you can see the 243 isn't mentioned in this screen, and the smallest caliber to hunt elk is a 308. So, and that's why I recommended the 308 as a, let's say, sweet spot caliber for beginning players. If you buy one of these Barrett Rec 10 rifles, you are fine. You can hunt everything. You can hunt every big game animal in the game with this 308 caliber, from elk to bear and moose. So you are fine for everything. And with that 223 caliber, you can go for cougar and yeah, for a coyote, and yeah, for everything that is smaller, mostly smaller predators, or red fox. Rabbits and birds can only be hunted with shotgun and bow and arrow. That's important. But with a 223 and 308, you are completely fine. When you start with your beginner loadout, when you get dropped in the lodge, um, the first area you will hunt is Pawnee Meadows. That's in Colorado region. And I don't know, you have some starter credits, I think. I don't know how much. I would recommend. Stop. One very important thing with these licenses. At the end of the tutorial, you can pick one of these licenses and make them an unlimited license. That means you will never have to buy this license again, and you can hunt as many animals of that species in that region as you can find. If you go on the map, and let's say that was back then a very popular recommendation, we will try that. Let's say you picked the cougar license for Colorado. You can go to the first map in the region, to Pawnee Meadows, and make quite a lot of money with cougars when you can hunt as many of them in one round, or in one playthrough of the map, as many as you can find. So they give, I guess, something around 3,000 credits you get for selling a cougar. So at the beginning you can make money quite fast with that. Personally, I don't recommend the cougar as the best unlimited license. Instead, I recommend the moose license for Colorado, just because in combination with the unlimited bear license for all the bear species, you make Roosevelt Forest to a very efficient map when it comes to grinding credits. The Bear Hunter edition of the game contains some items. That's a nice bonus. But the important content of this DLC is a pack of unlimited licenses for grizzly bear, brown bear, and black bear. For the bears, usually you can hunt one bear with one license. Then you need to return to the lodge and buy a new license to hunt another bear. I think they are quite expensive, like the moose license. They are quite expensive, and a mature moose sells for 4,000 something credits, I think. Um, and the idea behind all this is, if you have an unlimited moose license and unlimited bear licenses from the DLC, you can go in Colorado to the Roosevelt Forest map, and you have two. Yeah, there are black bears and grizzly bears, I guess, and moose. You have three very rewarding animals in terms of credits on one map, and you have unlimited licenses for this. So I would prefer this strategy to make more money a bit later in the game, compared to the unlimited cougar license, to make a bit more money at the beginning of the game, but that will be useless really fast. So my recommendation for the unlimited license when you start the game is Moose in Colorado, and to buy the Bear Hunter Edition DLC or Bear Hunter Pack DLC. Yeah. So that means when you start when you start here in the lodge, when you get dropped out of the tutorial, the first thing I would recommend is buying a cougar license. You need to check how much that costs. I don't remember. Cougar license, and if you can get a second license, I would recommend elk. They don't sell for that much, but they are easy to hunt and you can make a little bit of profit. So at the beginning you cannot buy that many licenses. You need to grind your way up a bit. Okay, that's about the licenses. The next thing to talk about is the time slot topic. In this bedroom of your lodge, you can pick a time slot: morning, afternoon, evening. And all these time slots, they affect the let's say the lighting of the map, and the weather conditions. In some cases, not always. You have some time slots like morning. I'd never had rain in the morning on any map. That doesn't happen. But if you play the afternoon time slot, it can happen that you have rain on your map and you almost can't see any animals. So for the beginning, I would recommend morning time slot always, and you can play around with that later, I guess. Um, yeah, morning time slot. You have your starter equipment. I equipped the stuff I would recommend to buy when you start and get your first credits. Now we go out for an actual hunt. So finally something happens in this stream. That's great. Up to now we have 50 minutes. We have almost 1 hour of stream and have not hunted a single animal. That's amazing. But I guess this guide might be helpful for some people who want to start the game before Hunt Sim 3 comes out. If we can help someone with this, it's completely fine. So when you go to this main door of the lodge, you have your map selection. You have your regions. So we talked about Colorado already. You have Roosevelt Forest. That's where the moose and bear license story comes to play. And Pawnee Meadows is, I guess, the favorite beginner map. It's quite easy. You can see a lot, and it's good to learn the basics of the game. If you want to check how many animals you have left on your licenses, you can, shift. It was shift. You can switch to the license screen, and you can see what licenses you own and how many animals you already hunted on these licenses. So you can see I have 1 elk of 3, so I can still hunt 2 elks. And for the rest, we are not really close. You can see that's important, I think. Soon. Cougar is 1 animal per license. So if we hunt 1 cougar, we need to return to the lodge and buy a new one. Let's go out to Pawnee Meadows. So that gameplay with the dog and stuff, I guess you learned that in the tutorials, so I will not include that in today's stream. It's more about the economic basics of the game, let's say it so. If you start, I haven't played for a while, so I need to check my button mapping, how to move and do stuff. We start in the center of the map at the main cabin. The first thing to do as a new player is exploring all these tents on the map. They work as fast travel points. There is another one, and the final one down here. So the first thing I would recommend is wandering around this map like crazy and activate all these tents to get your fast travel locations. That makes grinding credits a lot easier. And you can set markers on this map, so that's you don't need to do that. Sometimes it's handy if you want to remember what animal you found in what location. So let's say we are a new player. This is our first hunt. We have a cougar license and our starter rifle in caliber 223. And let's say we explored already all the tents. For an effective cougar grind, I always recommend the southern part of the map. So these two tents. Let's start with this one. Fast travel to that. First is always let your dog stay in position. And right around the tent, the chances are really good. Oh, that's a bobcat. Okay. In this southern area of the map, your chances are really high to find cougars. And often more than one. And that's the reason why when the game came out, a lot of people recommended the cougar license as one of the best unlimited licenses. But this cougar grind stuff is only relevant at the very beginning of the game. Later the moose and bear stuff is more important because you get more credits. And at some point you want to leave this beginner map. So what you can do, if you already have your predator caller. At the beginning that's not important, but if you have this, when you sneak around, just use the caller, and if there are predators around, foxes, coyotes, bobcats, they will come straight in your direction if they are close enough. But I want to show a cougar. So let's switch to the other camp in the southern area.
Stay where you are.
Maybe we can find one here. That's one thing you keep in mind. You don't find the animals always in the same location in every hunt. So it's always a bit different when it comes to spawn points. I guess here we have no cougar. I really want to try to get one for you. But in the end, for that, what I wanted to explain, it's not important. If you try this, if you try reloading this map over and over again, at some point in the southern part you will find cougars, so you can. There's a boar. A boar, okay. Like this area. No, nothing here too. Okay. I see I need to do a quick phone break. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry for the quick break. We can continue. Where we stopped. Cougar. We wanted a cougar. So like I said, I would recommend for the beginning unlocking all the tents and checking the southern area of the map. There you will very often find cougars, and you get for one cougar you get 3,000 something, I think, credits, and then you sell it and buy a new license. And if you do this a couple times, you will have quite a lot of credits to basically buy the basic stuff I recommended before. Oh hey, hi Morgan, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing great. There I see something. Nothing for the cougar topic. Nothing for the cougar topic. That was just a rabbit. I'm just curious if it was maybe... No, it's a regular one. I'm still waiting for the legendary snowshoe hare, but I think it is not existing, basically. Yeah, let's return to the lodge. Let's try something else. So the basic strategy, like I said, what I recommend. Ask your question. Feel free. I am just explaining some stuff, and I will come to your question soon. Yeah, like I said, I would recommend grinding cougars in Fawny Meadows for your starter equipment. If you do a couple rounds and if you get, let's say you get 3,000 credits per cougar, it will not take long to buy all the starter or all the essential equipment I mentioned before. It isn't that much. You will be really fast in a state where you have everything that you actually need, and at that point you can invest credits in licenses to hunt a wider variety of animals. I would recommend doing that. And now, mm, you want a tour of the lodge? Yeah, we will do that. That's something that we can do before we close the stream. Just for now, at first, I want to show something else. So I had a comment from one of you. Sorry, I don't remember your name. So but you're also German, so I reply to your comments in German. And you asked about the red deer spot in my videos, in my red deer guide videos. And I promised you that I try to include that in today's stream, so we do that now. My equipment should be fine for this. Where is my... Sorry, I lost my mouse cursor on my second screen. We want to go marshlands. What? It's raining? Okay. So that's a good example. In some time slots, weather conditions can change. But never in the morning. Morning is always nice weather in Hunting Simulator 2. So, and maybe for beginners this is interesting to watch. Under these weather conditions, it's quite tough to see anything. So for the start of the game. Stay in the morning time slot and it will be easier. So, red deer. Red deer was this tent. Yeah, Morgan, I'm reading your questions soon. So if you arrive at the tent, let your dog stop. I hope I have a deer caller. I open the map. So, right next to the tent. Like I answered your comment, it's not in every... The animal spawns are not in every run. Sometimes you have them very close to the tent, and sometimes I need to walk a bit to the west in case they hide behind this forest. So here seems to be nothing. We can speed up that a bit. And like I replied to your comment, I can confirm that sometimes, for whatever reason, animal spawns in Hunt Sim 2 are weird. This on Cheshire Marshlands, it's quite rare that it happens. So this is our first try and really bad weather, and it's not necessary that we find something, but here is basically nothing. We can quit and start another round. But in Hagita County, it's raining again. So it doesn't matter. I just want to show that the location basically works.
Stay there.
Let the dog sit at the tent. Deer caller. Heading to the west. 2 times in a row that bad weather in Cheshire Marshlands. There's nothing you can speed that up. If you're just looking for red deer, and it doesn't matter if you spook everything else. There we are. Sprinting through the forest to the west, and we get some red deer with really bad weather. I hope I have enough licenses for both. Like always, I don't check that. I'm doing the same mistake over and over again. In most cases, I never know how many animals I can hunt, actually. And caller. Let's see if we can... Okay, position is good. What we have here. Regular one and a really small regular one, so no legendary. We have here, it's the Rec 10. Yeah, it's the Rec 10. Let's try to get this one. That was a lethal hit. We can follow. It should start limping soon. But the I don't know if that's if that comes through the stream like it is in the game. The sound of this 308 Rec 10 rifle, so it sounds really weird. So it looks and it sounds more like a military rifle from one of these famous first-person shooting games. Where's our dog when we need you? We follow the blood trail. I guess... Heard something? Okay. I guess it was just a gut shot. So as you can see, you can follow a wounded animal without your dog. But it's way less funny, I guess. Where he is? Oh, there he is.
Follow that trail.
Yeah. Okay, he got the track. So as you can see, the location basically, that's how it worked for me basically always. I had spawns not in every map, but very frequently in sometimes 4, 5, 6 times in a row. Then I had a map or two without red deer spawns. But always at this location and really fast and quick, repeatable, and that's the most important factor to grind your legendary. And I'm curious, it was displayed as a lethal hit, but this deer, I don't know, it's running an Iron Man, a wounded animal with a lethal hit running that long. I have that frequently with bears, they are quite tough. At some point this red deer has to go down. Okay, there's another one. But also a small one. But stuff like that always happens when I quickly want to show stuff on a stream. That was the small one.
Come, I need you beside me.
I don't know where my dog ended up. Okay,
Go on.
let's follow again. Some point it has... yeah. Finally. So. We got our red deer, nothing special, no legendary. Not even a mature one, I think. Yeah, it's a young one, so... But it's... I think it's okay to show beginner players to how it is to claim animals. So you can see I have now used one. That's what the small one again. Yeah, I guess I used now one of the one animal of the license. With one red deer license, I can have 3. I used one now. And to sell the animal, we need to return to the main cabin of the map. And we can claim the animal. We can check the scorecard. Well, and we have 2 options. We can keep it as a trophy. If we do so, we get no money, but it will end up at the wall of our lodge. I will not do that, it would replace my legendary one. If you have an animal already as a trophy in the lodge, if you press shift, you can compare it with your existing trophy. So that's the one we shot right now. And with enter, I guess, we sell it. You can see the sell price is 750 credits. That's already okay. That's quite a lot for a deer species. The other ones are a lot lower, I guess. But we sell him, and then before we return to the lodge. Again, sorry, I don't remember your name right now, but if you're watching this stream, afternoon time slot, Cheshire Marshlands, the Western Tent, and you have a high chance to have red deer right next to the tent when you spawn there, or behind the small forest in western direction. For me, that mostly always worked, and I had no major issues on Cheshire Marshlands map so far. So these problems that you described, I mostly have on the Hagita County map, and I think that is because the Hagita County map is sometimes broken for unknown reasons. I don't know. But as you saw, this spot, at least for my installation, for my client here, for the PC version, it basically works. So if you still have problems, please respond to our comment conversation, and maybe we can figure out what is causing this. So just to, yeah, that was this part of the stream I wanted to do. Let's check Morgan's questions. Your first questions, legendary ducks and geese. To be honest, I'm not sure completely, but I never saw them. And there are so many birds in the game. If you observe one of the larger lakes for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you see so many birds. I did that for a while. And I hunted quite a lot of ducks and geese. And I never saw a legendary one landing or starting from the water. So if you want to try this, good luck on that. I personally don't believe there are legendary ones, but if you find one, please let me know. Yeah, we will do a lot sure right now. Just responding to your questions. The hardest legendary beside rabbits for me was turkey and pheasant, for sure. And your question with that legendary boost, I don't really understand that 100% right now. I guess you lost a legendary moose and found another one later. So yeah, that's normal. I lost a lot of legendaries, but it's not. You always find new ones. Yeah. And a lodge tour. What we have now, almost 1.5 hours of stream. Okay. I've not expected that it will be so long today. So let's check all my trophies. And you can ask your question in that time. I will show every trophy and scorecard for a couple seconds. That should be enough. Nothing changed compared to my previous lodge tour. I don't know if we did something like that on stream already. I don't know. Perspective from the pronghorn isn't very positive. uh, I always wanted to replace this legendary white-tailed deer with something larger. Because I feel 51 kilos, it could be more. Yeah, let's go to this side with a bear. This really crazy gray black bear. Yeah. We are in the lodge tour, Morgan. We already started. We are already by the at the wolf trophy. I show every animal and every scorecard for a couple seconds. And I have one of the newer videos. I'm sure contains also a lodge tour at some point. You can also check that. Basically nothing has changed. Well, I'm quite close to the grizzly. I also think this grizzly bear could be a lot heavier than 100. 162. So these, the birds here, these ducks, I guess they cannot be legendary. I hope. I'm basically I'm done with insane grinding for this game. Oh, I forgot that Sika deer. Sorry, my friend. No, like I said, I'm basically with this rabbit grind. If I find my missing rabbit species as legendaries, if I find them at some point, I'm happy, but I'm not forcing it anymore. Right now, I'm more or less waiting for Thund3r and or Ultimate Hunting. That also looks promising, and I'm a bit excited about the demo that was announced for this year. Another question? Ah, okay. You found the you think you found the same moose again in Roosevelt Forest after you switched to Texas to hunt a bison and returned to Roosevelt Forest? That it was the same. So that's the really funny looking wild boar. One white ear and one dark ear. The fallow deer always is impressive, I guess. The rack is so large it goes into the ceiling of the lodge. Or the lodge is too small. I guess the next game will get a much larger lodge. I hope so. Okay, you are not a trophy. We are. Okay, we are at the bear. Okay. So that was the lodge tour of the regular room, basically. Upstairs and the main room. And here we have, let's call it the room of pain. You asked what are the hardest legendaries, in my opinion, in this game. They are all piled up in this small room. It's the pheasant and the turkey. Yeah, and the rabbits. For the jackrabbit, there is a regular one. I know the legendary exists, but I'm too annoyed to actively searching for it. The snowshoe hare, hunted, I guess, in the meantime, more than 1,000 of these annoying little animals, and there was no legendary. I guess there is just no legendary specimen. Yeah. The beautiful legendary abomination named Brown Hair with broken polygon elements as whiskers. It's amazing. It's so ugly. The same for the European rabbit, the legendary rabbit animal models. At least the ones I have, they look horrible. So the small cottontail, I don't know if this one exists as legendary. I have no idea. I guess not, like the snowshoe hare, but if someone find one, please let me know. Please let me know. So let's check your questions. Yeah, that stuff about Thund3r. Basically, we just have to wait what they deliver and what they announce. Right now, everything about that is pure speculation. And we just have to wait what we get in the end. Your moose. Checking the weight. No problem. This one. So I'm using the metric system, so you need to convert that. So this is the closest I got to 700 kilos. So it's 695 kilos in the metric system. Basically, in general, I wanted a legendary moose over 700, but it was impossible to find, and basically, in the end, I was happy with 695. You can convert that to pounds, I guess, quite easy, so you can compare your legendary moose trophy. And your other question, if I could make a video where I hunt every legendary animal in the game, to be honest, I could do that, but I really don't want to. I I did and showed almost everything the game has to offer, and like I said, right now I'm more or less waiting for Thund3r, and I'm quite happy making live streams with specific questions from you all that watch my channel, and we can go through some stuff and explain stuff. That's okay, but I really don't want to start a major grind again for a compilation video of all the legendaries. I cannot do a compilation of the existing ones I have. I still have the raw footage of some of the hunts, but not from every hunt. So it would be really difficult to cut something together as a compilation. So in the end, it would require me to start all over again and go for every legendary once again, and that's right now far beyond my enthusiasm for the game. So sorry that I can't meet your expectations at this point, but I really don't want to do this. We can do some relaxed streams about Hansen too, but for me, I can say I beat the game in every way it was possible for me, and for the legendary rabbit stuff, I basically quit on forcing it to get all the rabbits as legendaries because they look horrible. It's not worth it, in my opinion, to put hours and hours and hours in grinding these ugly abominations. So no. For the rest of Thund3r 2 before Thund3r 3 will be released, I'm quite happy with these relaxing streams and answering some questions from my viewers, and just have a good time and sharing news of Thund3r 3 and other hunting games. And for now, at least, that's a concept that I'm fine with. So when Thund3r 3 is out, there will most likely be more regular videos again. But for that type of questions and stuff I get recently and in the last weeks and months, this live stream concept right now fits the topic a lot better in most cases. So I am happy with it. I hope you out there are happy with it also. And you can ask your questions during the stream, so we have something for the upcoming weeks. Or you can ask your questions if you want to show me some specific stuff. You can ask that in advance in the comments under all our videos. I always try to respond to every comment, even if it sometimes takes a while, but I want to reply to every comment you write. And yeah, you can ask your questions also there, or below the community posts where I announce the topic and the time of the next stream. Usually I announce that on Sunday. Need to drink something, so a lot of talking today, and my voice fades away a bit right now. Yeah, I guess we're done for today. We have over 1.5 hours of stream. I did not expect that when I started, that it will take that long, but I hope I showed everything that is important for a beginner or for a new starter of the game before Thund3r 3 comes out. It should be possible to beat the game quite fast, I guess. If you follow these tips, you can save a lot of time and fill your lodge. And over time you will get so many credits with that license recommendation in Colorado that you can buy everything easily. Yeah. I hope this quick and improvised. I was not really prepared today. I hope this quick beginner guide meets the expectations. And I hope you enjoyed today's stream. And yeah, thank you for watching, as always. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. And you will hear from me again next week in a new stream, and I guess on next weekend on Sunday or so I will announce the time and the topic for the next stream. Okay, so thank you for watching. Enjoy your evening, have a great time, and see you on the next stream. Bye bye.